I just like two of my homeboys. Forever be get back gang.
It looks like we might finally know who's behind the situation EBG's been hinting about. A brand new clip has hit the internet, and fans are convinced it shows Pushy pulling the trigger on one of EBG Jizzle's close friends, just days after his release. With Jizzle now calling for payback, it's starting to seem like Pushy was actually safer locked up. Let's break it all down. This is the moment that reignited the fire in Memphis. A blurry 37-second clip filmed in what appears to be a dim parking lot near Airways Boulevard has blown up across social platforms. It allegedly captures Pooh Shiesty, fresh out of federal custody, unloading shots at a vehicle tied to one of EBG Jizzle's right-hand men. Within hours, Pooh Shiesty and Get Back Gang were trending everywhere. And with Jizzle already swearing revenge, fans can't stop asking the question no one wants to say out loud. Did Shiesty really step out of prison just to catch another case? The video is disturbing. A black Dodge Charger pulls up, voices shout, and 6 bright flashes light up the night. One man falls near the hood. If the clip is legit, Shiesty's first move after freedom might have been taking out one of EBG's main soldiers, a decision that could set Memphis off all over again. And things get even darker. Local insiders and pages like Rap Alert claim the scene in the clip matches an area EBG is known to hang around. You can even hear someone yell EBG out here, moments before the gunfire. Whether real or not, the image alone is powerful, and in street politics, perception often hits harder than bullets. Keep in mind, Shiesty had just gotten out earlier this month after serving a shortened sentence for a federal firearm conspiracy case. His early release shocked fans. Some cheered, others warned that his old lifestyle might come back for him. Even Charleston White said in an interview something like this could happen, and now it looks like he was right.
Pooh Shiesty.
That's my boy. Them Pooh Shiesty babies, now they gonna be something. We got to do something with them motherfuckers. I ain't bullshit. Them motherfuckers destroy America. They the great.
That prediction suddenly feels dead on. Shiesty was supposed to be regrouping, reconnecting with Gucci Mane's 1017 label, and planning an album plus book comeback package. But if this footage turns out to be real, that comeback may have just become a countdown. What's undeniable is that Memphis hasn't felt this tense since Young Dolph's death. Corners that once blasted Shiesty's songs are quiet. Murals are being tagged over, and talk of retaliation fills the streets. Because this isn't just a typical rap feud, it's personal, historical, and deeply layered. Before Pooh Shiesty ever hit the Billboard charts, before Back in Blood went viral, before Gucci Mane ever signed him, this rivalry was already spilling blood and ruining reputations. To understand what's unraveling now, you have to go back to the very beginning, to the robbery that lit the first spark. It all started with a break-in. According to EBG Jizzle's own story, someone hit a house and stole a few items, then bragged like they'd done something major or hit a big target.
Started from really from a broke in the house and stole some, and really try to put it like they extorted something, but they really did some chunky. You know how they go. These doing what you supposed to do when you were 14, 15, breaking your house, busting windows out of it.
In Jizzle's eyes, it was childish, a small-time burglary, nothing worth boasting about. But when the other camp began rapping about it, hyping it up as something legendary, things quickly shifted from neighborhood tension to open hostility. The situation boiled over when Pooh Shiesty dropped his breakout hit Back in Blood with Lil Durk. For EBG Jizzle, that wasn't just another Memphis anthem, it was personal.
Yeah, you can tell I took it as a diss, but it just, the reason what made me respond because it was just false as hell. Like, it just was a whole bunch of make-believe and exaggerated situation. So that what just made me respond.
From Jizzle's perspective, Shiesty and his circle were twisting reality, turning street gossip into legend, and building fame off half-truths. What bothered Jizzle most wasn't only the exaggeration, it was that Shiesty's lyrics were glorifying events that never actually happened the way he claimed.
I was just like, man, yeah. I just hate capping that shit.
Then came the shooting that nearly took EBG Jizzle's life, an event that sparked wild rumors and endless speculation across Memphis and social media. The truth, however, was far messier. The incident was tied more to a domestic dispute than any beef with Shiesty, but that didn't stop fans and blogs from connecting it to their ongoing feud. Jizzle ended up caught in the middle of someone else's drama, but the streets didn't care about the details. For most, it was just another chapter in a war that refuses to end.
I guess the whole thing been into it with her nigga all day, with her boyfriend all day. So, bam, as I'm rolling up, he busts in the room and he beating the like just beating. I'm like, damn, what the fuck I got going?
Jizzle wanted no part in the chaos, so he chose to walk away, but that's when everything spiraled out of control. What started as an attempt to avoid drama turned into a nightmare once bullets and rumors started flying.
I'm getting my and leaving. So as I'm getting my and leaving, I guess he took that in his head that I'm finna kill him or pop him or shoot him about his female. So bam, as I'm walking to get my up to bed, he take off running out the room. When he take off running out the room, he shoot all through the walls.
To make things worse, false reports about his condition began spreading almost immediately. People online and in the street started twisting the story, claiming things that weren't true and exaggerating what really happened to him.
So I just wasn't thinking too hard on it. Only thing that made me mad is like, when I wasn't even on the internet when I got shot, but soon I logged on everybody, like, go check Instagram. I see motherfuckers out on the ground, capping like out of me, like just really just clout chasing type shit. So that was just made me realize that a lot of these be in this for attention or for the...
Soon, everyone was trying to take credit for the shooting, bragging about something they had nothing to do with. They inflated the story, dramatized his injuries, and used his pain as a way to boost their own street reputation. But the rumor that caused the most damage, the one that truly widened the divide between EBG Jizzle and Pooh Shiesty, was yet to come.
Right. I believe Pooh Shiesty posted something like, damn, that he did and now he can't even walk.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
According to Jizzle, Shiesty played a part in spreading the lie that he had been paralyzed, even though Shiesty wasn't involved in the incident at all. That claim added fuel to an already burning feud. For Jizzle, it wasn't just about the lie, it was about someone using his name and his pain for clout.
Yeah, he ain't had to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of, he ain't had nothing to do with nothing. But get back.
From there, things escalated beyond music. What started as lyrical jabs and online taunts began carrying real consequences in real life. Both sides started to feel the pressure, especially EBG Jizzle, whose name was now attached to one of the industry's hottest and most controversial artists. The situation was no longer confined to social media. It was bleeding into business, reputation, and survival.
I feel like people scared to f with me because who I don't f with, you know what I'm saying?
The truth was harsh. Being on bad terms with an artist signed to 1017 Records, distributed by Atlantic, and co-signed by Gucci Mane came with serious fallout. There were actual deals, collaborations, and promotional opportunities that suddenly disappeared, all because of the tension. The industry had quietly chosen sides, and it wasn't his.
I think it was signing on Saturday night. It was a record label though that was finna sign me. Like we had met with each other, did a whole lot. Did like going to studio sessions, all this. Then they hit my little brother, which my manager, they hit him up like they ain't want to lose their relationship with other artists, so they ain't want to f with me type shit.
Through it all, one thing stayed clear. This wasn't just about fame or money for EBG Jizzle. It was about honor, integrity, and the code he lived by. While Shiesty side saw it as another chapter in rap competition, Jizzle viewed it as something deeply personal, a matter of respect and truth in a world where both are hard to come by.
Like, it's like, I never did, but like, where we come from, like, this to the grave, like, hell no, we don't forgive or forget.
From EBG Jizzle's perspective, this wasn't a beef that could be patched up with a handshake or an apology. The disrespect had gone too far, crossing lines that can't be erased in their world. In the streets they came from, certain actions demand consequences. There's no making peace without paying a price. But as the dust settled from that first robbery, the situation evolved into something much more dangerous. What followed wasn't just a rap feud, it was arrests, shootouts, betrayals, and a new wave of Memphis artists trying to survive in a city known for turning its own against each other. Blood ties and street codes ruled everything. To understand why this rivalry hit so deep, you have to look at their criminal records, the charges they faced, and the reputations they've earned through real situations, not lyrics. This is where the boundary between rap image and real life starts to disappear, and where the consequences turn life-changing. For EBG Jizzle, his story in the streets began long before fame ever entered the picture. His first major run-in with the law came when he was barely a teenager.
I think it was an attempted murder, but they dropped it to assault. I had ended up getting two of one of my family members. Matter of fact, I got two of one of my family members, and then it just went the wrong way, and I ended up kissing a little attempted murder charge. I ain't just gonna speak on it because I fought with my uncle.
At only 13 years old, Jizzle was charged with attempted murder after a violent altercation involving relatives, a case that was later reduced to assault. But that early brush with the law was only the beginning. As he grew older, the stakes got higher. By 16, he was handed a juvenile life sentence in Tennessee, which meant confinement until 19 unless released early for good behavior. What made the experience even harder to swallow wasn't just the time he served, it was who helped put him there.
My best friend at the time, he ended up snitching on me. Yeah, he ended up telling this.
Okay, so your best friend snitches on you during this case, and then it leads to you Getting juvenile life?
Yeah.
The betrayal came from someone he once called his best friend. That wound cut deep, teaching Jizzle lessons about loyalty, trust, and survival that shape how he navigated the streets for years to come. When he finally regained his freedom, he barely had time to adjust before another serious case hit him head-on. In 2020, just as his music career was starting to gain attention, Jizzle found himself facing a murder charge that carried a possible 15 to 25-year sentence. The prosecution's initial plea deal would have wiped out his entire youth and most of his adult life. But how that case ended revealed a lot about both Memphis street politics and the justice system itself.
15 to 25 years. My first offer was 17 years.
The case against him relied heavily on eyewitness testimony, and when it came time for court, that key witness refused to testify. With no one willing to take the stand, prosecutors had no choice but to drop the charges. It was a close call that could have permanently changed his life.
But I really knew I ain't even it was just, they were going out some he say, she say. You see what I'm saying? So they just going by what a would say. So somebody told them something, but when it was time to come to court and trial and shit, he didn't want to take the stand and testify.
Now, shifting focus to Pooh Shiesty, his run-ins with the law played out on a much larger public stage. His legal issues took a sharp turn when he got arrested in connection with a shooting outside King of Diamonds, a well-known Miami strip club.
Shiesty was arrested for a shooting at King of Diamonds. Now he has been accused of shooting a security guard there. We don't know what happened, but they said a crowd jumped in trying to grab some loose cash because somebody knocked money out of his back pocket, and that's when reportedly they are saying that he brandished a gun as he was being escorted out by the security guard.
Reports say a security guard was hit in the ankle during the chaos, though multiple witnesses claimed they saw Shiesty hand the weapon to someone else before that person fled the scene. The King of Diamonds shooting marked the start of a series of legal battles that would pull him deep into the federal system.
I hope that's not true.
Well, there was no gun or shell casings found at the scene.
Even though the physical evidence in that particular case was limited, it exposed a troubling pattern of behavior that prosecutors later used to build a much larger case against him. Soon, federal agents were piecing together a file that could have easily ended his career, and possibly his freedom, for good.
Pooh Shiesty has pleaded guilty to one charge in his federal case. That means he's no longer facing a possible life sentence. So this resulted in prosecutors agreeing to suggest no more than a 97-month prison sentence.
Eventually, Shiesty accepted a plea deal that called for just over 8 years behind bars, though the judge legally had the power to give him up to 20. The charge he pled guilty to, conspiracy to possess a firearm in furtherance of violent crimes and drug trafficking, was no small matter. It's a serious federal offense carrying heavy mandatory minimums and the kind of weight that can permanently alter a person's future.
One charge that he is pleading guilty for is conspiracy to possess a firearm in furtherance of violent and drug trafficking crimes.
By agreeing to the plea deal, Pooh Shiesty narrowly escaped what could have been a lifetime behind bars. But even so, nearly a decade in prison came at the worst possible time in his career. Still, for both him and EBG Jizzle, the story of their lives can't be summed up by street beef or criminal charges alone. Behind all the chaos were genuine ambitions, dreams of taking Memphis from the trenches straight to the global stage. Because while the violence, arrests, and headlines tell one part of the story, their artistic achievements reveal another. Both men, in their own ways, helped shape the new sound of Southern rap. Understanding how they built their careers, the obstacles they faced, and the influence they left behind shows why their feud resonates far beyond Tennessee, and why their music still matters, even when one is locked up and the other is fighting industry blackballing. Pooh Shiesty's rise to fame began through relentless independent grinding, and eventually, the right person noticed. Born Lontrell Dennell Williams Jr. on November 8, 1999, in Memphis, Tennessee, he spent his early years in the Cane Creek apartments on the city's south side. For a brief period, he lived in Pflugerville, Texas, before returning home to finish high school through summer classes. By 18, he had turned his full focus to music, shooting and uploading his own videos on YouTube, amassing millions of views without a record label in sight. The name he chose carried both family roots and street reputation.
In the womb, I was still in the belly, she rubbed Mr. Pooh. And it went from there, whole neighborhood, Mr. Pooh, from my family.
Pooh came first, a nickname given by his mother before he was even born, when she affectionately called him Mr. Pooh. It stuck, following him through childhood and around his neighborhood. The Shiesty half came later, a reflection of the street mentality he developed, the image of someone sharp, unpredictable, and not to be underestimated. The two halves together formed an identity that perfectly embodied his blend of charm and menace. Shiesty's professional career officially began in 2019 with his breakout single Hell Night, a collaboration with fellow Memphis rapper Big 30. Released on March 15, 2019, and followed by a music video in early 2020, the track pulled in over 6 million views, putting his name firmly on the map. He kept the momentum rolling that same year with consistent releases, Shiesty Summer on August 20th, Chop Talk with Big 30 on August 23rd, and Day 1 on November 25th, 2019. Each record helped build his reputation as one of Memphis's most authentic voices, gritty, raw, and impossible to ignore. Then came the moment that changed everything. A career-defining turning point so wild it sounds like urban legend, but it really happened.
Man, me in the bed, man, middle of the night, one day, he texted me on Instagram.
Did you believe it or did you think it was a lie?
I couldn't believe this shit.
How old were you then? Because you're only 20 now, right?
Yeah, I'm 21 now. I was 20.
Okay. Oh, that was last year?
Yeah.
So he just sent you a DM?
Yeah, he texted me, he said, "What's up, home?" I couldn't believe it. I grabbed my phone, get up.
Everything changed the night Gucci Mane, one of trap music's most legendary architects, slid into Pooh Shiesty's DMs. After stumbling across Shiesty's track Main Slime, Gucci was instantly hooked. What started as a late-night Instagram message turned into the kind of moment that defines careers.
He said, "This my number, FaceTime me." I FaceTime him right there. We was on FaceTime for like 6 hours.
Word.
It was already like 3 in the morning though.
The two ended up on a 6-hour FaceTime call that same night. Strangers at first, but by the end, Gucci saw something rare, raw talent, real hunger, and charisma that couldn't be faked. This wasn't just another signing. It was Gucci personally deciding to bet on someone he believed could carry the torch for a new era of Memphis rap. In April 2020, right in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, Pooh Shiesty officially joined Gucci's 1017 imprint under Atlantic Records. The deal was handled remotely, but the buzz was impossible to contain.
We flew to Atlanta, yep. But it was like I got signed during COVID, so everything locked down and shut down and everything over the phone.
Keeping that kind of news secret for even a few days was nearly impossible. For a young artist who had spent years hustling independently, this was the moment he'd been grinding for. But while Shiesty's rise followed a calculated path guided by a powerful mentor, EBG Jizzle's journey to rap came from a completely different place. Born Eric Gills Jr. in Memphis, Tennessee, his name carried weight long before the fame.
Yeah, we drained these after my little brother, E. Belzer, he died in 2015. It was a car accident he was hit when he was driving the moped and shit. Nigga ain't try to do it. It was an accident. So we put the gang on him type shit. We started E-Bells the gang when he died, and we just been pushing it since.
EBG stands for Everybody Bleeds Gorilla, a phrase born out of tragedy. The movement was named in memory of his younger brother, who was killed in 2015. For Jizzle, that name wasn't just a brand, it was a tribute, a promise, and a reminder of what he'd lost. Unlike Shiesty, Jizzle didn't start out treating rap like a career. For him, it was a release. Something he did on the side while still caught up in the streets.
When he passed and stuff like that, like that's when you picked up the rap, or you know what I'm saying, it kind of took some time for it.
I want to say, like, I had been like, you know how we just fucking around, like writing raps and shit. But like, they didn't just make me take it serious. I only started taking rap serious like a year ago.
His brother's death didn't instantly turn him into a rapper. The pain sat with him for years until he realized music could be a way to express everything he kept bottled up, a way to speak for himself and for his people. His breakout moment came with the track Rumors. Interestingly, it was made long before the Back in Blood controversy, but wasn't dropped until afterward.
I had been made to sound like a year before I dropped the type shit.
The song had been sitting on his phone, passed around to friends and block homies who kept telling him it was special. When it finally dropped, it proved they were right. It wasn't about chasing hits or perfecting every lyric, it was about honesty. Jizzle's creative process was raw and spontaneous. What he rapped was what he lived. That authenticity is what made fans believe him.
You know me, I just put my life on beats type shit. Like I just be like real deal going in, writing about shit that is really occurring, like what I'm doing type of shit. Or what I'm seeing.
That unfiltered realism became his signature. You could feel that his music wasn't manufactured or polished. It was lived experience turned into rhythm. When Rumors finally went public, it exploded beyond anything he expected.
I knew the song before I ended on my story and shit. And everybody used to be just like going crazy about the song, like send me this song hard. But I ain't never think it'll be at like, where is it now, 8 million views and shit.
8 million views for an unsigned Memphis artist still figuring out the music industry was no small feat. It was proof that listeners were craving something real. And while the beef with Pooh Shiesty added fuel to the attention, Jizzle didn't seem to be capitalizing, it felt natural. He was simply speaking his truth at a moment when everyone wanted to hear it. Then came one of the biggest surprises of his career, recognition from a hip-hop legend.
He DM'd me on the ground one day, just like down with you. He wanted me to come out there and get up with him. So we went, me and my kid down, all my whole gang went out to LA, got up with him and
Snoop Dogg himself reached out, invited Jizzle to Los Angeles, and expressed interest in working with him. That cosign instantly gave EBG Jizzle credibility beyond Memphis and opened doors that few local artists ever get the chance to walk through. But fame doesn't erase your past. It shines a brighter light on it. Every diss, every rumor, every lyric becomes part of the legacy. In the end, this feud was never just about winners or losers. It was about what Memphis gives and what it takes away. Two artists, molded by the same streets and the same struggles, turned pain into purpose. One ended up behind bars, the other found himself battling industry silence. Yet both left an impact that can't be undone. Because in Memphis, the line between music and survival isn't thin, it's invisible. And as long as that line keeps disappearing, the story of Pooh Shiesty and EBG Jizzle is far from finished. If you enjoyed this story, tap the videos on your screen to keep watching.